And good Tuesday morning to you all. It is 10:31 a.m. here on Tuesday, October 13th. In case you missed it, this is a good time to remind you that today is the last day that you can submit an application for a mail-in ballot. You can get that vote.ri.gov. You can grab it, you can print it off, and you need to get it to your local Board of Canvassers before 4 p.m. today. You can drop that off right in front of your local city or town hall. Starting tomorrow, October 14th, you can do early voting, and that will go through November 2nd. Of course, then you can also vote on November 3rd at your polling place. We are meeting the candidates, and we are on Newport School Committee today, and joining us is Rebecca Bolan. And good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning.
And how's it going down there, all right?
It's good. It's always good in Newport.
Excellent. You are currently on the Newport School Committee. How long have you been on the school committee?
I believe I had to just figure that out. I think it's 12 years.
Okay, excellent.
That's a long time, but there's work left to be done.
There are people that have just moved to Newport. There are people that are voting for the first time in Newport. Hopefully there's a lot of people voting in Newport in this upcoming election. Tell us a little bit about yourself in case for some reason we don't know who Rebecca Bolan is.
So I started out as an elementary school teacher and then met my husband who was in the Navy and decided to show me the world. And so moved all over, literally all over the world. And our last tour, we came to settle in Newport. And I brought 3 children with me, and we had 3 more children after we got here. So we decided to call the island and Newport our forever home. We've been here 30 years now on the island, and I don't think we're going anywhere. And I think that my experience as a military wife and also, as a school teacher and as a parent of 6 children who I was very active in their lives when they were here. I served on all their PTOs. I headed every PTO pretty much, and it was just like a natural, next step to get involved with the school committee. And I also bring to the table, I know the life of the military child, so I'm able to always make sure I'm looking out for military kids in the process, because sometimes they do get left out. We just don't think about how school life impacts them.
You said there's work to be done. At what point, or how do you decide that, you know what, I'm going to seek re-election?
Well, I'll tell you, this time I knew that when I accepted to be the co-chairman of the building committee, I was committing to re-election, because this is, it's a 2-year process, almost 3-year process to get it, passed. And then I will try to stick with it all the way through the building of the school. I was here when we built Pell, and so I actually have served on the building committee in Newport since 2005 consecutively. So I think I bring to the table a lot of institutional knowledge of what we did right, what we could do better, and so I made that commitment, and here I am now.
Now, it would be silly of me to ask what your thoughts are on the school bond question and if you support it, but obviously you do.
Right.
So tell people why you support it, why you're heading up this committee, and why Newport needs it.
Well, without being redundant, because I think everybody, knows about it. But then when you're out in town, you realize that there's still a lot of people that are very unfamiliar, with the bond. So first of all, I'm gonna tell you, if I forget to say something, feel free to go to our website, which is, I will say it in a second, it's right here on my piece of paper. And we have all the information. We've also put together this really incredible document here, which you can't read, but this is just the facts, ma'am. And it's got everything, including the cost. And so we're trying to get these out to the public. But as far as this bond goes, first of all, we knew when we were building Pell that it was going to be too small. The state would not let us build it any bigger. And so we had a problem from the beginning. The state has now changed the way they do things, so hopefully that'll never happen again. And so we need to expand Pell. We need a welcome center, a registration center. We have an incredibly large Hispanic population that seems to be growing all the time, and they need a lot of resources. So we've planned for that. And basically at the high school level, we were determined to be in the worst condition of any school in the state of Rhode Island. And the state said, we're not going to reimburse you to fix it. So if you want to fix it and to, refurbish it, you're going to do that on your own. And, it's when they came in and did a report in 2017, they said it would be 70 million to refurbish it. Trust me, those numbers have gone way up since then. And it also means that when you take down a wall, you have no idea what you're getting yourself into until it's down. So refurbishing it makes no sense when we're going to be getting $55 million in reimbursements from the state, and the cost to the Newport taxpayer is going to be $50 million. So that, and also, in truth, the school was never designed for New England. The school is way too spread out. There's almost 80 doors in that school, and you cannot make 80 doors safe no matter what you do, because you cannot lock a door from the, so that kids can't get outside. So doors are constantly being opened. We have to make this a safe, warm, dry. And I'm sure, many people have gone to, Rogers High School and know, the condition inside, but it's very pathetic. It doesn't send the message to our kids that we care. And it's really important that we do, because when kids are in a school and when people are in a school, it really affects the climate and the culture when you're in a new building. And we're really going to increase our tech programs, which are career and tech programs. We want all kids to graduate having had an experience in the career and tech program. And there's no reason why kids can't graduate with a skill and also go on to college. So we have a lot of high hopes for this new building. And I'm just going to say on regionalization, because people keep saying, well, why don't we regionalize? We've been trying to regionalize for over 20 years, and our neighbors don't want to play. They keep, voting it down. I know that we came back up again, and we have that group called CESU who are actually trying to fight our building right now. And we do have a vote no group who want to hold out for regionalization, but it's a dream and a hope. And right now we have to do what's best for our children here. We may not have these incentives in the future, and so I just want to say to the average taxpayer, the cost of this bond at the end of 2025 will be $156 a year. That's if you own a house valued at $400,000. So it's like the 43 cents a day,
Rebecca, let me ask you, because I plan on asking other candidates in different ways as well. You're a current school committee member. If elected, you're on the school committee, but the bond question fails. What do we do to make safe, warm, dry schools?
Well, first, I'm going to spend a couple days crying, to tell you the truth, and then, you know what, you pick up your bootstrings and you go on again. And, if you hate to say this, but I'm sure that it'll come back up with the, regionalization. We've always, many people have been in favor of it here. So it would come back up, but it would be a very long process, at a minimum 10 years before you could even look at a high school. So, we also went out with an RFP to see if any districts would take our students, because everybody kept asking, what's your plan B and C? And we only got a response from Middletown, and they can only take a portion of our students. So I don't know exactly what would happen. We're afraid that school will be at some point condemned due to mold, mildew, the heating system, before. And so we would have to go back to the drawing board. Now,
I would imagine school, not to put words in your mouth, is probably the number one priority, a new high school. What are some of your other priorities if re-elected to Newport School Committee?
So, test scores are always an issue, and they're always a challenge for districts that have a high poverty, rate. I mean, the federal government recognizes this when they give you extra money in the form of title money to teach these students, because they know they take more resources. So it's no excuse for doing poorly, but we really have to continue to work on that. We've made some progress in the last, year before all of this happened. I don't think we're going to see, let's hope we see some progress this year, but it's a very difficult year with COVID. So test scores, but that's not the only way to evaluate our kids. It's also about the life skills and how many kids are successful when they graduate, finding a skill they want to do or going on to college. So that's another high priority. And then also I don't think many people know this, but I've served as the head of the health and wellness group now for since I came on the school committee. And we've done really incredible work over the years to make sure the kids are being fed, because we all know that kids that are hungry can't really learn. So just for everybody's knowledge, last year our free and reduced population went up to 70% in Newport at the elementary level and the middle school. That's incredible. And so we're doing a lot to make sure that we get all those monies in. I'm keeping a really close eye on it. And so that we make sure that, there's a lot of money out there to help, educate these kids. We just have to make sure we don't leave it at the table.
Interesting report, if people are interested, is go see the most recent Rhode Island Kids Count data in your backyard. Lots of interesting, I won't call it all great data, but interesting data and informative data from that.
So our group actually came up with something I've not seen anywhere in Rhode Island, which is we came up with an idea for meal advocates. And so we've hired people at each school to help us collect these forms. And the best thing is the kids are, they're getting fed meals, but also we're leaving money at the table by not recognizing children. And also we have the same problem that they've had all over the country, which is unpaid meal debt. So we have reduced that. Last year we had over 90% of all of our forms in. So we're making sure that we, get all forms in, whether they be title, forms for impact aid, lunch forms, or also Medicaid reimbursement.
Looking back over the 12 years, what are some of the highlights? What are some of the proudest moments that you have as a sitting school committee member?
I think one of them would be when we were recognized our program. We wrote our own request for proposals for to get a new food service provider, and we were actually asked to present at a national convention here in the States on how to do it. And that was a proud moment because it led up because we had so many great programs going on at Newport at the time. So that was a very proud moment. I'd say every year when the kids walk across the stage and you hear about all the great schools they're going to, it's it warms my heart. But I will say my work on that, and I'm heavily involved with the our finance committee, and so I've kept my thumb in that and tried to have the pulse of what we're doing and making sure that we don't ever use leftover money to pay for the next year, because you cause a deficit if you do that. So a lot of work in that area too.
Why should people vote to re-elect Rebecca Bolan to Newport School Committee?
Because besides all the reasons I've given you, I also keep the pulse on the parent and the child. And so I think that I pride myself on my ground level intelligence. So I try to make sure that what we're being told is happening is also what is perceived as happening, because your perception is your reality. So I think that that's one of the reasons. The other one is I'm going to really help to get this school built, or to do Plan B, whatever it takes. And I think that I'm also I work cooperatively with people and help to come up with very interesting and creative solutions to things that that help to make the group cohesive. Excellent.
Rebecca, is there anything that we missed, any topics, issues that you want to bring up?
Let's see. Got some.
I know it's an open-ended question, but I like to
make
sure that we hit on any priorities or points that I may have missed.
Just that we have some of the best teachers in this state. I'll stand behind all of them any day. And right now, our climate and culture, we settled a contract recently, and since then, things have really started to change. And climate and culture may have been pretty low a year ago, but if you ask any teacher now about what that climate and culture is like, it's on a 180. And very, very proud of that. And we will continue to work on that in our district because it's very important.
So you're hoping people find you on the ballot and check you off, and then
Yes,
obviously
I'm number 10.
Number 10 on the ballot.
Save your one vote.
Right.
At the bottom.
All right. And then you're also hoping that people check approve on question number 2.
You do have to turn the ballot over. So that's just, maybe not intuitive, and so before you leave, turn it over and vote yes. And don't be swayed by the naysayers, because this is going to be one of the greatest changes for Newport that it's seen in years if we get this accomplished.
Where can people go to find out more information, or ask you questions, email?
Okay, so the website is, I should know it off the top of my head, but of course, when you're always looking for something, right, you can't find it. It is right here, though.
It's all right. I can always link to it after as well.
It's crazy. I know it's on here.
Well, while you look for that, what is a way people can get a hold of you if they want more information about you?
I don't really have a website, but I offer my phone number to anyone. I do better talking and listening to concerns. And so my phone number is 401-855-1665. Excellent.
And the website, I just found it, is buildingnewportsfuture.org.
Okay, so that's one website. So this bond issue is kind of split into two things. This one here, if you go to the district website, which is NPSRI, and you're going to find a link right there that'll take you to all of bond information. If you go to Buildings Newport's Future, there are advocates. So there's definitely two different places to go. And I'd suggest going to both of them, and NPSRI and hitting the construction and the bond. All right.
Excellent. Well, we appreciate it, Rebecca. Very best of luck in the upcoming election.
Thank you very much. And thank you for doing this.
Of course, the days leading up to, as well as on November 3rd. And you are number 10th on the ballot. And you're also asking for people to vote to approve question number 2. There are 2 questions in Newport that people will vote on. Question number 2 is the school bond. All right, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Very best of luck. All right. And we want to thank Rebecca Bolan for joining us. She is a current Newport School Committee member and is looking for your support and your vote in re-election in the upcoming election. We have a lot of these conversations coming up today, as well as in the coming days. If you want, we have invited all Newport School Committee candidates, as well as all Middletown. We're going through all the candidates. They're all invited. We're booking them on a first come, first served basis. If you want to see any candidates, learn more about candidates, all of them are available on whatsupnewp.com. I want to thank Rebecca for joining me today. We'll be back with you later on.